we're gonna go ahead and get about, I don't know, 50 to 75 swings on each ear of the Pro-Ms. Again, we've got both of them 12 inches. We've got the Pearson here, and then we've got the Riley here as well. So this is the Supermax, which is gonna be your full ounce end load, max load, half ounce end load. So we'll go ahead, get swings on there, velo test, get you that final compression. And then today we're also gonna be adding in the new Evil BP rockets. So we just got these over there from Bob Russell at Evil. So we're gonna try them out. We're gonna hit some of them side by side with the Pro-Ms we've been hitting. So we've got some hardcores in there, Razzo Pro-Ms, things like that. For anyone who's used these before, you'll notice these do look different now. These new ones have the Evil Sports stamp on it, and you'll notice there's no Trump stamp on it anymore either. So if you swung those older ones, just understand that those are no longer in production. So if you buy some from, let's say, a third party, it's not gonna be these newer ones. So as you see how these perform today, keep that in mind. They parted ways with Trump Sports and BSN. There was a bunch of issues going on, but we talked to Bob in depth there. This one's gonna have that kind of 52 core out here so that it's gonna protect these bats more, but it still gives us, I believe it's like a 440 compression, so it's still supposed to give us game ball performance. So that's what we're out here to see, how this flies in comparison, obviously, to the Pro-Ms out here, and then over the long term, we'll figure out, are these protecting our bats better or at least the same as these, and we'll kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and get some swings on it. And from there as well, I know a bunch of different stuff. We're also gonna try out these new grips we just got sent over. These are Twin Tack grips. So far, I mean, these are definitely some of the tackiest I've had. If you head over to the Twin Tack's website or their Instagrams, they have some pretty cool videos on there about installing them and how strong they are. So just some different things we're adding in there today, along with these equipment, just to kind of help you figure out what you want to throw on your bats. I'm somebody who swaps out my grips every single time on the bats. I've been using a lot of Lizard Skins and Vulcans lately, as well as actually the new Bruce Bolt grips. But let's try the Twin Tack ones, and we'll just kind of throw in a real quick piece there in the final thoughts on how well these things worked out. So let's get some swings on these and see what it's all about. All right, let's go ahead and test Josh Riley's 12-inch Supermax Pro-M real quick before we throw any swings on it. Let me keep that straight. Almost messed that one up. There we go. Dial this thing up to 0. Let that sit. And this one's going to start right at 240, maybe slightly above. Again, we're at elevation, so we figured out that adjusts at times by about 5, so maybe it's at 245. But we're sitting pretty low, so I imagine this is going to be 100% game ready. Question will be, is it going to be like a lot of the bats we've seen lately, where they are hot out of the wrapper and still hold, or are we going to see a pretty quick drop? But we'll find out real quick if this is meant to be a BP bat or not. And up next, we've got Kyle Pearson's. This is the Maxload, which for those that aren't familiar with it, makes this the half ounce. So again, Josh Riley's is the full ounce, KP's is the half ounce. Dial that up to 0, let it sit. And on this one, we're sitting just under 300, it's like 290. So big difference between the two of these. We're gonna go ahead, test them out, see how that changes the performance. Maybe one of these will be our game ready one, being that the Josh Riley was right there at 240, and then obviously the KP might need some swings to really break in.
Is the ball coming off your hand weird today too?
It was a little bit. It's getting better now. Like that one, you just no spun, almost knuckled it all the way out. Woo!
Knuckleball.
Back-to-back knuckleballs?
All back now, knuckleball too.
That one got out good, and it still didn't. It still sounded like you just missed it compared to the one that you put in the first one of the trees.
There it is.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
It's the worst thing that happens. All right, we'll start with the Pearson since it started higher compression, especially, I mean, even after the two of them swung it, I'm sure it's still higher. And then we'll move on to the Riley. Again, Riley's our full ounce end load, Pearson's our half ounce. From watching these two guys hit so far, seems like the Riley's just ready, out of the wrapper, ready to swing. And if you want one that needs a few more swings to break in while still having good pop, that's gonna be the Pearson here. But we'll see, and then we'll obviously test final compression after velo. Yeah, because that definitely wasn't the sweet spot. But it's still forgiving, I mean, right at the wall. Regardless of the compression though on this Pearson, that sweet spot feels great. I mean, I think that was a sweet spot. A couple swings in, we'll see if there's one better, but what's nice about this one so far, I know it's the Maxload, the half ounce, but you can definitely feel that there's some end load there, so that's nice. I really don't like the ones that are half ounce end loads and you just can't really tell and it feels almost balanced. So that's a good thing to note about it. Hey, that was another miss towards the end. It's getting good distance and feels pretty good for what you can tell on your hands. Doesn't quite feel like you're getting the exact bounce that you would expect from it being broken in. So I like that you can get that performance in case you want to just game this right away. But again, we'll know for sure at the end. I do think it's about you'll be able to BP and bring that compression down and not have to really worry about it right away, which is nice as well. So and then there's the sweet spot right there. And I mean, the ball flies off the sweet spot right now. Yeah, it's starting to open up for sure. I mean, it's getting there. We're probably closing on 75 swings here on this one. So by the time we velo, we'll be right at 100. See where we're at with it.
My bad.
Yeah, I'm real interested to see the final compression on this. Obviously velo too, but see where that one's at.
Oh shit.
That one's definitely lower compression.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
I didn't even feel like you caught that one. Outside again. Let me give you one more good one.
I was gonna say, that should be good.
Never mind, that's a good one in on. Down.
Yeah.
This was, if I remember correctly, 245, somewhere under 250 compression at the start. From watching these two guys swing it, looks pretty good out of the wrapper, so we're gonna find out right now. Again, for a bat that's at 250, sub 250, this is definitely way more BP swings than I would put on it. So if that's the norm for this, and again, we only have one of these, so we can only test one, but if that's the norm, understand this will be your buy it, game it, don't BP it. And if that's the norm, being close to 300 on the Pearson, that's your buy it and BP it to really break it in. So just something to keep in mind. But you can definitely tell this is the full-on end load. You can feel a little bit more. I mean, it's not crazy different, but you can definitely tell there's more end load. And you can tell it's more opened up already. Yeah, you definitely don't need a compression tester to tell you which one of these is lower compression right now.
That one's on the solid.
Yep. Yeah, so between the two of them, the sweet spot feels relatively the same as far as how hot it comes off or how good it feels. But you can tell with this being the lower compression bat, it's way more forgiving, and the ball is absolutely traveling off the rest of it great. So, which is nice for a forgiving 12-inch barrel bat as it is. Yeah, they both feel really good, as we've already said. Riley's feels better right now. Well, just more opened up, which makes sense based on compression. Let's get some velo. We'll do about 10 swings each of us, so 30 total on each bat, and then we'll get you a final compression, final thoughts.
"94 miles per hour. 96 miles per hour.
Ball's hammered.
90 miles per hour.
Here, pause for just a second. I just want to see something.
99 miles per hour.
That was a little.
95 miles per hour.
Okay, that's about right, I think. I think they're standing about the same. This is enough one we had.
89 miles per hour. 87 miles per hour.
Go.
97 miles per hour. 96 miles per hour. 91 miles per hour.
Okay.
98 miles per hour. 101 miles per hour. 96 miles per hour. 100 miles per hour.
I think these balls back.
94 miles per hour.
So, on Pearson's, like we kind of talked about, again, we'll see on final compression. Off the sweet spot, you saw 100 miles an hour. When we kind of miss, we're still mid to high 90s, so I mean, it's still very forgiving. But it definitely, I think, can open up more. We'll see here with the Riley what this one does, because I think the Riley with where it was at compression is going to give us a lot of what we're going to see with the Pearson or exit velo and forgiveness as we get more swings. So let's get our velo on here, and like we said, we'll give these bats some time to cool down since we're sitting out here in the heat and been put a bunch of swings on them, and then we'll get that final compression.
100 miles per hour. 92 miles per hour.
Holy shit, the bleachers!
99 miles per hour. 104 miles per hour. 105 miles per hour. 102 miles per hour. 90 miles per hour.
Cool. Yeah, kind of as expected, as we mentioned. This one just feels more forgiving, which makes sense based on compression. We saw slightly higher speeds. I think 104, 105 was what we topped out at. So again, we'll test both of them, see where they're at, get you kind of those final thoughts. But I would game either one of them out of the wrapper. If you want the hottest of the two straight out, for us, it was the Riley here. But again, compression wise. So I don't know Again, if the low compression game ready is the norm for the Riley, and then for the Pearson it's meant to be higher, we've only got one of each to test. We'll see if we can't find a couple other guys with testers that have these, have them test out some new ones, just to get an idea of where theirs are starting. But they're both good feel. If you like to feel that unload, you can feel that on both of them, but let's get the test in there, get your final thoughts. All right, now that we've swung both the Pro M's, let's go ahead and see where the final compression's at on them. Up first, the Pearson. This one started just under 300, got about 100 swings on it. Classic M's, Pro M's, all the standard stuff, and those new Evil BP balls we'll talk about a little bit in the final thoughts. And this one came down to 255, maybe 260, so we definitely felt it opening up towards the end, so that's kind of to be expected. But what that tells me is give it about 100-ish BP swings, and then now I would throw that in my bag and just make that kind of a gamer at that point. And then we've got the Riley. This one started very low. Makes me think it's meant to be purely a game bat only, but we still threw the 100 swings on it, so that's what we do here. So we'll see where it's at now, and then kind of let you know how that would affect what we would do with this if this is our bat we purchased to use. Yeah, and that's kind of what we expect after seeing how far the Pearson came down. But we're sitting right at 200. Let's quarter turn just for the sake of seeing if we get something drastically different. And 200. So easily failing on both sides. Because of that, we'll go ahead, run the calibration disc. For those who haven't seen it, 350 plus or minus 25. That lets us know tester's still in calibration. We check this thing every morning before we come do these tests, or every day I should say before we come do these tests. So we've never had an issue with it, but we like to check it live on camera anytime we have a bat that fails. And sitting dead on 350, so well within calibration. We'll talk about all that a little bit more in the final thoughts. All right, we're field swings, velo test, compression test complete here with the Miken Pro M1s. Again, this is gonna be the Josh Riley, and this is gonna be your Kyle Pearson. Pearson's 0.5 end load. Josh Riley is your Supermax 1 ounce end load. First thing I noticed kind of when we got these ones as well is you can tell that they have different end loads, and you can also feel the end load on both of them. And what I mean by that is there's definitely some bats out there where the 1 ounce end loads definitely don't feel super pronounced. People kind of second guess, are they actually 1 ounce or are they not? You can tell this is a 1 ounce, and you can even tell on the half ounce that it has an end load, but it definitely doesn't feel as heavy as the 1 ounce, which is obviously what you want there as well. From there, the Riley did start, as you saw there, right around that 245, I believe, maybe just under 250 compression, while the Pearson was just under 300. And so what we saw there from swing number 1 kind of to the end where we saw that final compression is the Pearson, again, if this is the norm, is gonna be more of your, I'm gonna buy this one, take out the wrapper, I'm gonna be able to BP it kind of as much as I want. We were still sitting at 260, 265 after the 100 swings, and still I'd have kind of a game ready bat. You could easily game this one out of the wrapper. Just know that sweet spot does start a little small. It was more just kind of sitting on the O of the Pro M1. So it needed those swings to kind of open up. By the time we reached kind of velo with everybody, we all kind of agreed it's definitely starting to open up, getting to where you want it to really feel great for being a game ready bat. So just kind of something to keep in mind there. Whereas the Riley is gonna be 100% straight out of the wrapper, game only type of bat. I doubt they all test right at that 240, 245. Hopefully this one just started a little low. I'm gonna guess those other ones, even if they are meant to be game ready, will be closer to 250, 255. And at that point, again, you keep away from those repetitive BP swings, take it straight to the game only, and I think you'll find that it'll last you obviously a whole lot longer than it did for us today. And you're gonna get the performance of exactly what you want, which is a completely hot bat straight out of the wrapper. The way it came off of it, honestly, reminded me a lot of the Tantrum line from last year with Easton. And honestly, the barrel reminded me a lot of the one-piece Tantrum, which I know this is a two-piece, but as far as the kind of overall feel and how it was coming off, it reminded me of that one-piece Tantrum, which I know was a lot of people's favorite. It was one of my favorites that we swung out here as well. So just kind of something to keep in mind. This is gonna be more of a BP bat while still being 100% game ready. This is gonna be purely a game ready type of bat, which again, you're gonna wanna baby it a little bit. If you do decide to BP it, make sure you're using 52s, things like that. As far as the overall feel though, they both gave you good feedback. You could tell where you caught the ball, didn't sting your hands, anything like that. As we mentioned in the beginning, we did kind of swap out the factory grips, switch to these twin tack grips, which if you haven't heard of them, I'm not gonna lie, I hadn't heard of the brand until they kind of reached out, asked if we want to try some of them. Head over there to either their Facebook, Instagram, whatever it might be, take a look. They got some pretty cool videos that show you how these perform, the kind of idea behind them. The fact that they're tackless on the back, so you just have to wrap them and they'll pretty much go on to anything. For me, the grip on them felt great. I'm a big fan of kind of those thinner handle bats. And so for some of these lines that run kind of the standard handles, this thinner 0.8 millimeter twin tack grip was definitely very helpful for me swinging out here. I know on some of like the worst Mikens, for me, the grips do feel a little thick, especially with those Bruce bolts. So just something that you can keep in mind, keep an eye out for. We'll try to put this, a couple of the other models and some of our other bats here going forward. Not sure if anyone really cares too much about what they do with their grips, but I swap all my grips out. So for me, I like to see if I can't find something that's gonna give me that feel that I want. And with this, no spray, no pine tar needed for me to feel like I got a good grip with those Bruce bolts. So just kind of something to keep in mind there. But all in all, with all of that being said, if you want to grab the twin tack grips, reach out to us. We'll go ahead and point you in the right direction for that. As far as you're ready to grab either of these Miken Pro M1s, all you've got to do is head over to headbangersports.com, put them in your cart, add code ADS at checkout, and you'll see a nice discount there. If you want help ordering them, just reach out to me, whether it's in the comments or down in the description of the video. We've got the link to our link tree, which will give you our email, phone number, all the social medias, whatever it might be, and I'll get you squared away with the best price I can, fastest shipping, or if you just need advice or recommendations, whatever it might be, let me know. Always happy to help. But either way, we appreciate you checking out the video. Hopefully you have a great day. Thanks for supporting the channel.